Distracted driving is a killer. How to encourage better habits? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from GM is safety engineer Dan Glaser. Hi, Dan.
Hello, and thanks for having me.
A pleasure to see you. And distracted driving claimed more than 3,200 lives in 2023, injuring an added 325,000. Really a terrible toll. The figures come from NHTSA. These are very disturbing, aren't they?
They're extremely disturbing, and it's even more frustrating because, quite frankly, probably almost all of these could have been avoided with a little more care, maybe a little more education.
So that's what this is all about. How do we
Mhm.
change our habits to make a difference? I guess maybe our phones are topic one.
Yeah, well, phones are a big one. It's because we tend to use them a lot. But what we know from studying this very closely is that it's not so much the phone that's the problem; it's what the phone makes you do. So that tends to be look at the phone for a long period of time, then look back for a short period of time, then back at the phone, and you have this bobblehead motion that is not sufficient for maintaining awareness of the road. Now, not only the phone can do this, it could be rubbernecking. It could be looking off to the side of the road. It could be rummaging around in your car because you didn't stow away something nice and it just fell on the floor. You know, while texting increases crash risk by 6, rummaging around increases it by 9. So I think it's important to think, what does the phone make us do that increases the risk, more than just thinking about the phone being bad?
Let's talk about some specifics here because a lot of people, it's not so much the conversations they're having on the phone, it's maybe the texting or something else.
The dialing, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the most dangerous part of having a phone call per se is picking up finding your phone, picking it up, dialing if you don't have any hands-free technology. Um, the risk of talking on the phone is a bit mixed. If you're in a confusing scenario and you feel like you need all of your attention on the road, then it's a good time to put the phone down. If you're on a long road trip and feeling a little bit drowsy, phone calls can be helpful. They can help to keep you alert. So this thing called cognitive distraction is quite different from visual distraction, where visual distraction is just about always a bad thing.
And what about hands-free? Does it solve much?
Well, hands free is good in that it takes out that dialing step. So many vehicles have something, have Bluetooth or other technologies that allow you to press a button on the steering wheel and say, call mom, call dad, and it'll call. And that's a much better way to start than, again, that rummaging around. Where's the phone? Unlocking it, dialing. That's where a lot of the risk comes from. So if you can cut all that out with some hands-free technology, which you probably have in your car, it's been there for a long time. That's a great way to reduce your risk on the road.
Tell us about the challenges that people like you are involved in putting technology in cars, the screen maps and other things, entertainment, putting it in cars with the potential that it could add to the distractions. How do you
Right.
try to navigate that?
That's a great question because it would be easy to say no technology in the car, it's distracting, but then all you have is your phone. So what's that right balance so that you can use the in-vehicle technology, appropriately, and it can help get you what you need, and it will help to kind of nudge you away from the phone. So we do spend a lot of time designing our systems. We make sure that the screens are high so that if you're looking at the screen, a lot of your peripheral vision can still be on the road. We simplify tasks. We try to make buttons big and fonts legible. So these are all things and considerations that are not part of the phone. So and there are really important things that are on that screen now. So for instance, uh, a rear vision camera, a nice big rear vision camera view really helps in reducing backing crashes. Also, a nice big navigation view, can really help you get to where you want to go, and is much better than going into the glove department and opening up a map. So these big screens do have their advantages when used appropriately.
Yeah, you don't want the map over the steering wheel. You
No, no, that's how it used to work, though, as I remember. Yeah,
Yeah. And some ADAS features, you mentioned some, I think, already that are available now and are coming, I guess can really help to improve safety if we use them properly, I suppose.
absolutely. If you take all of our backing features, which includes cameras and automatic braking and alerts, you can reduce. We found that there was an 84% reduction in backing crashes. So that's just one example of how stacking this technology really becomes effective. Now, um, I know this is a tech podcast, and there are some really cool new tech for detecting distraction and drowsiness in the car in real time. So, in model year 24, we released what's called driver attention assist, and this uses a camera on top of the steering wheel. It's the same camera used for Super Cruise. If you're, that's our automation feature, hands off and um, feet off. So it kind of drives you down the highway as long as you're paying attention. But what this camera does is it doesn't take video and share that video. That's not what's going on, but it can give the vehicle messages like, hey, we sense that the driver's been looking off the road for 3 seconds. So maybe we should remind them to look back up. Or maybe the driver's about to fall asleep. They're yawning, they're closing their eyes. In real time, we can detect this so we can help the driver from falling asleep by vibrating the seat, providing alerts. And so this real time paying attention to the driver and then providing timely responses is a great new area to help with these, the problem of distraction and drowsiness and potentially other behaviors that cause risk.
Just terrific. And getting back to this education component,
Mhm.
what are some of the key tips that you would have for people to avoid this huge problem that has developed?
Right. There are a few things. So I think fundamentally, what people need to do is have a mind shift when they first get into the vehicle. So when they first get in, I think the urge is to hopefully they buckle up, should always buckle up, but then to just zip off without much thought about what do I need during this drive? What can I do to make this drive more relaxing? What can I do to be less distracted? And so I think with just maybe 60 seconds, think about the things you might want. So queue up your navigation, get your favorite podcast, going. Send out a text to satisfy whoever might be needing your attention. And if you can do those things, you'll have to do a lot less in the vehicle while you're moving. And I being the distraction expert, a couple things I want to avoid because it's way too ironic is getting fined because I'm distracted or getting in a wreck. So one of the things I started doing early when I got this role was incorporate this into my routine. So I get in the vehicle and I think about what I need. And it's really made my drives a lot more enjoyable. And this is something that everybody can do. It's not just tied to certain vehicle technology. So I think April's a great time to, develop that habit and, carry it on into the summer when we do more driving.
Terrific. Is there a place people can go to get more info?
Yeah, head over to gm.com and lots of information over there about our safety initiatives. Yeah.
Terrific. Well, congratulations on the focus and on the innovations. Dan Glaser, thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you so much. And thanks for the amplification. It's really appreciated.